Everyone can hear me good from this microphone? Okay, great. And where is that is there. Perfect. So, my name is Matthew Halliday. I am the president and COO of Canada Silver Cobalt Works. I think that we have a very exciting company, and I think that we are extremely undervalued, particularly for the three tenets that I will kind of highlight. We have an excellent property portfolio in both precious metals and battery metals. We have a mill facility in the town of Cobalt, nearby our high-grade silver assets. And we also have a metallurgical process able to produce cobalt carbonate on spec for the EV industry. So with those three tenets that we have, we are really lining ourselves up to transform from a junior exploration company into the future to become an extractor as well as a refiner of EV quality products such as cobalt sulfate, nickel sulfate, copper sulfate, and rubidium carbonate. I'd like to just kind of highlight a bit about what's going on in North America right now, particularly in Canada and the United States, around critical metals. It is a really interesting environment. In Ontario, we have a new Minister of Mines who actually has industry experience in mining. That's very exciting for me because I hope that he will be able to bring about effective changes. We have a critical minerals strategy in Ontario now, and there's going to be new legislation passed into the Mining Act to make it easier to develop critical mineral projects in the province. We have a lot of projects as well that are predominantly nickel, copper, cobalt projects in Quebec, and they have a very good legislation right now, and they have a very good critical minerals policy, as well as the government is very active in helping exploration companies develop through various initiatives, whether it's Investissement Quebec, the Quebec government, and SOCAM, and they bring a lot of partnership in with other countries, including the United States. So what's happening right now in the United States is some pretty amazing things. Of course, NAFTA or the USMCA has been updated. They really want to have more EV car parts manufactured in the United States. And most recently, they have the Inflation Reduction Act, which really wants to see more refining and extraction of the minerals that are necessary for these new industries coming from North America, which is good for me because I want to be able to produce and extract basically battery metals as well as silver here in North America. So the environment is really growing to be a lot more interesting. The United States has also coming up with some new grants to be able to be applicable to both American and Canadian companies to progress these projects, and that information should be coming out within the next couple of weeks. The Defense Act recently has been also implemented. So there's a lot of things going on the American side that is really helping to encourage and even apply some pressure on Canadian governments to be very serious about moving these projects forward and catching up to the rest of the world. So, Canada Silver Cobalt, again, we have a very high-grade silver asset in the cobalt mining camp, as well as a past-producing mine. We have three past-producing mines, the Castle Mine, the Violet, and the Beaver mines, as well as a new high-grade silver discovery. The silver camp comes with cobalt, and we're very confident that as we continue to develop and find new projects in the cobalt mining camp, that we'll be set up to become a centralized miller as well as a centralized leach operator and be able to operate and bring on board multiple projects at a time in a camp that has conflict-free cobalt as well as extremely high-grade silver. These are forward-looking statements, pretty typical. This presentation can be downloaded from our website, CanadaSilverCobaltWorks.com. So We are going through a bit of transformation. As I mentioned a lot about critical metals in the early part of this presentation. The fact is that we are going to split apart the company, and, well, that just happened. We're going to split apart the company and make a new public company called Koniagis Battery Metals, and we're going to put in our battery metals projects in Quebec, and then have Canada Silver Cobalt remain a precious metals company with a focus on a cobalt byproduct. We have a team, I think, with a lot of depth and knowledge. What we really want to do is transform this company into a mining company. We have the right geological staff. We have the right metallurgical staff. We had the right mining staff. We are going to refill that as well. Unfortunately, one of our directors had passed away recently, and I'd like to, mention that, my sympathies go out to Jacques Manette and his family. But we are moving forward, and we will be transforming this company into a mining company in the future. Myself, I'm a resource geologist. I have a lot of experience around the world with high-grade and low-grade gold and silver. I used to work for SGS Minerals, developing resources at their resource department. Frank Bassa, our CEO and chief metallurgist, has worked extensively in metallurgy and mining around the world. He actually worked for Agnico Eagle in 1982 at the mill in the town of Cobalt. He was one of their first metallurgical engineers. I think it's very important that he understands the metallurgy of the cobalt mining camp and has brought the Re2Ox process, which is able to produce those cobalt sulfates, nickel sulfates, copper sulfates for the EV market. And I'd like to also mention Diane Tukuni, one of our directors, First Nation consultant. She's an Ojibwe First Nation. I'm very proud to have her on board to make sure that we're being very proactive in engaging with communities, and we're honoring and developing good agreements with them. This is the cobalt mining camp. The cobalt mining camp has produced over 600 million ounces of silver historically, very high grade. In fact, when they first came to the cobalt mining camp, they were basically finding veins at the surface and hand cobbing it, shipping it on the train down to Kodak in Rochester, New York, and it really was a boom town. The original 4 years of mine production in the town of Cobalt was 2,600 ounce per ton mine grade. So this place was producing a ridiculous bonanza grade silver. They had a following decade at almost 800 ounce per ton silver for that following decades in the town of Cobalt. Where we're located in the town of Gauganda is in the northwest there, and they've had about 80 million ounces of silver production historically, and we're in very close proximity to 60 million of those ounces. So the Castle Mine and the Castle Silver East project is basically a project that we have discovered these high-grade silver veins. We've discovered silver up to almost 90,000 grams per ton silver, over 0.3 meters, and we have put a resource onto this. And we have a strong vision to be able to continue to explore the Gauganda area, the Miller Lake Basin. We believe that there's a lot of potential east of these past producing mines. They basically had the low-hanging fruit. So they found these mines using visual methods, using visual mining. They continued to expand them. We're going a bit deeper into the Miller Lake Basin, and I believe that we'll find in the future the next 60 to 100 million ounces east of these past producing mines. And then we'll continue to grow in the region because we have a team that has been effective at finding this type of mineralization, and we understand the exploration techniques that are used. Our main goal in the near term is to put a ramp down at the Castle East. We want to use it as an exploration device and continue to explore from underground. I think it's very efficient to be able to explore using long hole drilling, horizontal drilling on fan sections, and that will really open up these narrow vein deposits. We have a resource that's all inferred, and basically the next steps for the company is to be able to get this upgraded into measured and indicated, have enough ounces to be able to effectively put down our exploration ramp and recover the price of the ramp, and then continue exploration from underground, and eventually move into a full mining license. This is the big silver vein, very beautiful classic dendritic silver. These deposits were deposited very quickly, rapid deposition through a mixture of high and low salinity fluids, and that's how we get these beautiful silver samples here. So we've been continuing to find new silver. I think that one of the things I'd like to mention is that the bulk of the silver that we have been discovering has been about 400 meters depth. In a press release that we had yesterday, we've found a new silver vein that's around 50 meters deep. So we have quite a large profile range of where we can find this mineralization, and we have new targeting methods to be able to continue to explore on a regional basis. We are underway with an environmental baseline study. We do need to have, again, that revised mineral resource inventory as well as a PFS to get that ramp underway. Once we have the PFS and engineering data back, we can move along into the permitting phase.
Don't you worry, go ahead.
Okay. As I mentioned, we have a mill in the town of Cobalt. We have produced 3 silver bars at this mill as proof of concept. We purchased the mill in 2020 after we have demonstrated the effectiveness of this. We have a ball mill, cone crusher, a bullion furnace, and a gravity circuit with a Falcon concentrator. So we're very excited about this facility. We picked it up for a very good price. The replacement value is in the range of $10 to $12 million Canadian. And if you notice our market cap of 18 million, I think that this asset has been a very valuable asset that we picked up for around $600,000. I'm not going to mention the EB Auto property on this particular presentation, but we do have an exciting gold property in Kirkland Lake area. I will like to just move on to the Grawl deposit. So as I mentioned, we are going to have a spin-out. We are going to put in a lot of our battery metals properties into this new spin-out, provide a share and potentially a warrant to our current shareholders. The Grawl property is a nickel, copper, cobalt magmatic sulfide deposit with massive sulfide lenses. We're very excited to be continuously hitting these pyrrhotite massive sulfides. We do have a very large land package, and we believe this is a very deep-seated deposit. We are hitting a lot of the mineralization near surface, so we have a very strong EM conductor kind of around the rim of a large Boogie anomaly. We have some new discoveries, and I think that this project will really be something of world class in the future with a high tonnage and a good grade. And I think that that's where I'll wrap it up today. You know, we are looking to basically continue to expand our property portfolio, make sure we have the right grades and we have the right battery metals. And in the future, we would like to become both an extractor and a refiner of EV quality products. Thank you.